The truth has been revealed as to why the Chicago Blackhawks took such a bad beating against the Seattle Kraken. I can guarantee you it is not the reason you expect. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to also talk about what the Blackhawks need to do going forward to change something, because something has to be done going forward for this Blackhawks team if they want to succeed at all this season. So before we get into all of this, we notice that 83% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a spot to get all your Chicago Blackhawks news around the NHL, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the major Blackhawks news. So we're going to start this one off here today with the truth behind the loss, because I'm sure a lot of people want an explanation as to why they lost 7-1 to the Seattle Kraken, who are in the same boat really as the Chicago Blackhawks this season and not being very good. So this is very unexpected, to be honest with you. When I seen this kind of put me through a mind loop. So this came out from the 10 observations from Charlie Roumeliotis after the game. He said the Blackhawks had a sleepless night in Seattle on Tuesday into Wednesday. Their plane from Edmonton was rerouted to Portland at 2 a.m. due to weather. They stayed on the plane for 3 hours, left Portland at 5:30 a.m., and didn't land in Seattle until 6:30 a.m. They finally got to their hotel room around 7:30 a.m., and you can't help but wonder if that played a factor. And I can almost guarantee you that that did play a major factor into this loss. You know, especially being a pro athlete playing pretty much every day, you need your rest, you need your sleep, and one bad sleep can definitely mess you up. And not being able to sleep pretty much for that entire journey, getting to your hotel room at 7:30 a.m. is a very tough situation. You know, the Blackhawks can't seem to catch a break, you know, stemming from all the injuries they have, all the players they have out, and everything going on this season. The loss of Corey Perry, Taylor Hall having a season-ending injury. And, you know, just on top of that, and then having a plane not landing due to weather and getting to your hotel room at 7:30, they just can't catch a break. You know, the Blackhawks, they absolutely need one. Having a complete AHL defense, pretty much, it just does suck, you know. Like I said, you know, the major part of it was also being that they're missing a lot of players. You can see this was from the game especially. All of these players who, you know, are starting players. These players will obviously make this team. They will be on this team for most likely the entire season had they been, you know, of course, in the situation of Corey Perry, Taylor healthy or with the team. This is a major group of players that they're missing out on. You know, all influential players. Kevin Korchinski, Seth Jones, Jarred Tinordi, probably your top three defense. You know, you can throw in Connor Murphy there as well, but your top three out of four defenders, I will say. Taylor Hall, former first overall pick. Corey Perry, a leader on that team. Andreas Athanasiou, haven't had much of him this season due to injury. And Mackenzie Entwistle, you know, it's just such a horrible situation for the Blackhawks to be in. And there really isn't much you can do about it. You know, there's not much they could have done. They can't avoid injuries, you know, at the sense of what they're doing and stuff like that. It really is just a horrible situation. But this is not the only reason that they are losing. You know, this team is definitely in a tough spot. On the ice, off the ice, everything. They just can't seem to catch a break, but it's also their play has not been very good. So I just want to touch on things that are going to have to change whether or not all of these guys are healthy. Because these guys aren't the reason solely that this team has been in the shape it is. You know, there are players obviously in the AHL who are getting their first NHL opportunities, who are up and down in between Rockford and Chicago, that, you know, just can't find a place to get comfortable with. And that's, you know, that's acceptable. That's reasonable. That's expected in those situations where you're having injuries. Isaac Phillips, you know, he's been up and down all season. He's one of the players who have fit him well, but not everybody is fitting into their role as quickly as he has. So one thing that has to happen is, you know, I think they just get a set line. One player that, you know, we've been talking about for ages is Lucas Reichel. He hasn't been able to get a consistent line mate, mainly because he hasn't been able to find success with anybody. So whether or not he goes down to the AHL, bring up someone else, you know, maybe you have some guys that have played together for the past few seasons, put them all on one line. You have to find some consistency, some line combination where the players are comfortable, willing to, you know, work together as good as they can, as best as they can to be able to work out this game. You know, it's not easy playing with different line mates every night, which is most cases for the Blackhawks. You know, they don't really have a set lineup. They haven't had a set lineup all year due to injuries, due to the absences like we've seen for other reasons that are not injuries, and it's just very tough. So you got to find some lines that you can keep together, even if you're winning, if you're losing. Like the other day where they're not playing Connor Bedard when they have a lead as much as they do when they're down. That's obviously another reasonable thing. The defense is better on some of the veteran players. They know how to hold a lead, and it's just important that they can get this type of line mate. The type of line that can do this, winning, losing, whatever the situation is. They need to keep it consistent so that they're used to who they're with on the ice. That's obviously one thing. Another big thing is the shift length. This has not gotten better. This is what Luke Richardson has been talking about for a long time. And you can see here, this was one as well last night in the Kraken game. This was absolutely horrible. You can't be out on the ice for 2 minutes and 37 seconds. I don't care who you are. Bedard has been out there for 2 minutes 14 on this one. Lucas Reichel 2:12, Philip Kurashev 2:20, Nikita Zaitsev 2:37, and Philip Bruce a minute and 52. You have to do something. Whether you get the puck in the air, you make a line change. Obviously, you can't ice it because you wouldn't be able to change, but something has to be done. You cannot stay out there for 2 minutes and 37 seconds. It don't matter who you are. Connor McDavid can't even do it. You're going to be too gassed on that shift and then going into your next one. It's not going to work. That will never win you a game. Unless you're at the end of the game with the goalie pulled and you need your best players out there, that is the only time that I want to see someone out there for 2 minutes and 37 seconds. In this, this situation the Blackhawks were in this game, at no point was there ever a situation where someone needed to be out on the ice for more than a minute at all. And this has to change. This is a very important piece to getting this Blackhawks team to where they want to be and being successful and being a competitive team. Obviously, there are a lot of young players on the team, a lot of young players that were there. That'll come with experience. That'll come with time in the NHL. So, they got to work on that. That is one thing that I understand right now, but it has to be toned down a bit because that's been a major issue for the past few games. Luke Richardson said it, Connor Bedard acknowledged it, and it's something that cannot continue. And one final thing, which I don't want to put any blame on, because this team is obviously, like I said, very hurt, have a lot of absences, is pretty much half an AHL team at this point, is Arvid Soderblom. You have to feel so bad for him. He got like a handful of NHL wins and about 30 starts, and, for an obvious reason. It's the Blackhawks just can't manage to, when he's playing, get a win. He's played well in many games, and there's also many games like this where he's not played very good whatsoever, but you can't put it on him. It's also part of the team. A goalie can't do it all himself. The defense has to need help from the forwards as well as their goalie, and the forwards need help from the defense. And, it's a whole system that the Blackhawks need to work on. It's not just one group, but the goaltending, it got to get a bit better. There's a few that Arvid Soderblom should have had, just like all season. There was one shot from the point. I believe it was the first goal. I may be wrong on that, but it's not acceptable. I hate to say it. I don't like to chime in on if a goalie's playing good or bad, but you have to admit sometimes there's some things that you have to have and some things that you have no chance at. I'll be happy to put it that way. So things got to change for the Blackhawks. We need to see some roster moves as soon as possible. Me and Noah spoke about Lucas Reichel going down to the AHL. If he's not having any success in the next few games, it has to happen. I don't care what you have to do, who you bring up. He needs to get somewhere else, find out his groove, find out what he's doing wrong, and fix that in the AHL, where it's a developmental league. So we'll be seeing what the Blackhawks do, if they do anything at all after the 7-1 loss to the Kraken. They might not. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But some things have to change, and we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this team going over the next few days to see if anything can happen, who comes back as well. But just quickly before this as well, we found out the reason Kevin Korchinski was out and his father passed away, which is incredibly sad. We do hope the best for the Korchinski family as well as Kevin, and, we hope the best. So that's all we got for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. See you later.